Everyone knows middle school and high school are different. The food's different, the classes are different, and the work's different. But the biggest difference? It's the stress. In middle school, my biggest concern was whether or not my shoes were tied. And now in high school, it's whether or not I get into college. Big difference, right? We put so much pressure on ourselves to get into college, get a good job, and succeed in life. We expect ourselves to do things that some 40-year-olds have never done or even thought of. And it seems easy enough with parents and friends in 4 years to figure something out. But it really isn't. All the pressure takes a toll, and sure, the stress makes us work faster and do more things. But it also overwhelms us and leads to burnout. Even before I entered high school, I was terrified. Just thinking about it overwhelmed me. Because high school is hard, and there's no getting around doing the hard work. But there is a way to make it more bearable. Habits. My name is Shaadana Rajesh, and I'll be talking about the impact our habits can have on us and basic ways to form them. So firstly, a habit is an unconscious and automated behavior that's repeated over and over again, and a behavior is a conscious choice that we make. Habits and behaviors run our lives. From brushing your teeth to snoozing the alarm, habits and behaviors are our routine. Which is why you need to change the bad and reinforce the good. It definitely doesn't help with the demands of high school to be stressed about the homework. The more we have bad habits like procrastination and poor time management, the less we get done and the more we feel overwhelmed. And sometimes it feels impossible to change these habits because we've had them for so long. But it really isn't. It all depends on how you approach it. Trying to go from feeling stressed all the time to being optimistic about everything in one day isn't realistic. Well, not without using motivation and willpower, both of which are highly unreliable. But there are a couple other factors to completing a behavior: ability, motivation, and a prompt. The easier a task is, the more likely you are to finish it. So instead of trying to think of multiple reasons to be happy, you could think of just one. For motivation, it really is unreliable, so the goal is to make everything you do easier, or at least break it down into smaller tasks. And lastly, the prompt. If you don't have one, you're not going to remember what you're trying to do. So in this example, you could set an alarm. But these are one-time behaviors, and sure, they're easy enough, but will you really remember to do them over and over again? Setting an alarm is good, but it doesn't fit into your routine. The task you're trying to accomplish doesn't feel like the next logical step. So you need to build it into whatever you're doing. Instead of setting an alarm, the moment you wake up and your feet hit the floor, to distract from how cold the floor is, you could think of your one positive thing. But this isn't much different from setting an alarm. To really cement the habit, you need to feel good about yourself. We remember and enjoy doing things that make us feel good. And by celebrating completing these behaviors, you'll remember to do them. And I know that sometimes it can feel a little weird to celebrate thinking of reasons to be happy, but it's a must. If you don't feel any emotion, you're quickly going to forget what you were trying to do in the first place. But what happens when you don't have time or if you just don't want to do something? Well, as long as you try to remain consistent with the process, you'll be able to keep the habit in place. So if you can't think of any good thing that's happening, you could just say, today will be a good day. And this is just an example, but it's an important one. If you can notice the good things happening around you and be grateful for them, you will be able to deal with stress more easily because you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel and all the good things that make the stress worth it. And this isn't only applicable to stress management. It goes for any skill you want to develop. In the end, you can only change if you want to change. You need a flicker of inspiration, otherwise you won't be interested in doing any of these things. We change by changing our identities and feeling good about it. So go from being someone who gets stressed with the demands of school, work, and daily life to someone who can easily handle any obstacle thrown their way. Feel good and do good. Thank you.